Hi students, good morning. So my name is Fanindra and I am working as a physics lecturer in Vigyan institutions. So let us continue our topic regarding moving charges and magnetism. So in our last video, we have discussed regarding moving coil galvanometer. So what is meant by moving coil galvanometer? What is the basic principle regarding the moving coil galvanometer? And what is the working of moving coil galvanometer, how current is measured by using moving coil galvanometer is discussed in our last video. So in this video the main contents that we will discuss are principle of shunt. So the main drawback of this moving coil galvanometer is it can measure or detect small currents. So whenever large current flows through the moving coil galvanometer, or whenever the large current is flowing in the circuit, so it will cause some damage or it is unable to measure. So to overcome the drawback, so we use a shunt. So what is meant by shunt and how it is used to calibrate the reading and how we can improve the reading of the moving coil galvanometer can be discussed here. And next one is how to convert the moving coil galvanometer to ammeter, and how to convert the moving coil galvanometer to voltmeter. You already know what is meant by ammeter and what is meant by voltmeter. So ammeter is a device which is used to measure the current flowing in the circuit, and voltmeter is a device which is used to measure the potential difference across the circuit or particular element. So let us discuss in detail what is meant by shunt, how to convert the moving coil galvanometer to ammeter, and how to convert moving coil galvanometer to voltmeter. So in our last video we have discussed about what is meant by moving coil galvanometer, and we came across that moving coil galvanometer, the current flowing in the circuit which can be calculated by using the formula E is directly proportional to theta, where theta is the deflection in the pointer or the moving coil galvanometer from which the current can be measured. Okay, so in moving coil galvanometer, whenever a large current is flowing in the circuit, so it is unable to measure. So because it is calibrated to certain deflection angle only. So how to improve this moving coil galvanometer to measure the currents of higher amounts? So let us see the circuit diagram for the moving coil galvanometer. So the moving coil galvanometer is connected in series with the circuit. Here it represents the moving coil galvanometer and the internal resistance. Let G is the internal resistance of the moving coil galvanometer. So this represents the symbol for moving coil galvanometer. Now to improve the calculation of the current in the moving coil galvanometer, we use a shunt resistance, which means a low resistance connected in parallel. Let S is the shunt resistance. It is called a shunt resistance. So to improve the current flow or to improve the calculation of the current flow, we put a shunt resistance across the galvanometer. This is a shunt resistance. Shunt resistance is denoted by S, and it is a low resistance. The value of the resistance is very small, very low resistance, and connected parallel to the galvanometer. So initially let I is the current that is flowing in the circuit. So we need to calculate the value of the current I. So when a shunt resistance is connected to the galvanometer, at this node the current is divided into two paths. Let the current through the galvanometer is Ig and the current to the shunt is Is. So you can observe here. So I is the current which I need to measure. So by connecting a shunt resistance in parallel to the galvanometer, some part of the current is flowing through the galvanometer and another part is flowing through the shunt. So let Ig is the current flowing in the galvanometer and Is is the current flowing in the shunt. So applying KCL at this node. So applying KCL. Applying KCL at this node. So Kirchhoff's current law, which gives sum of the currents entering through the junction is equal to sum of the currents leaving the junction. Therefore I is the total current entering the junction, which is equal to sum of the currents leaving the junction, means Ig plus Is. So Ig plus Is, let it be the equation 1. So as this is connected, so let us now initially calculate what is the effective resistance of total this circuit. What is the effective resistance of this one? As the both resistance are connected in parallel, effective resistance. So effective resistance is given by 1 by R, or let R is the effective resistance. 1 by R is equal to 1 by G plus 1 by S. So on calculating or on simplifying this equation, we will get R is equal to G into S by G plus S. R is equal to G into S by G plus S. Here you can observe G into S by G plus S is the effective resistance of the total circuit. So by connecting a low resistance in parallel to the galvanometer, the total effective resistance decreases. The total effective resistance decreases. Okay, now as these both are connected in parallel, the potential difference across the galvanometer and the shunt resistance should be equal. Therefore, from that, potential difference across the galvanometer can be given by Ig into resistance G. So potential difference across the galvanometer is Ig into G, which is equal to potential difference across the shunt resistance. The current flowing in this shunt resistance is Is, and the resistance is S. So which is equal to Is into S, which is equal to in turn equal to potential difference across this total circuit, that is I into total current flowing in the circuit is I into effective resistance, so I into R. So from this we can calculate what is the current flowing in the galvanometer and the current flowing in the shunt resistance. So from this, Ig is equal to, on simplifying, in place of R we can substitute Gs by G plus S. So divide by G. So Ig is equal to I into S divided by G plus S is the current flowing through galvanometer. Current through galvanometer. And current through shunt. Current through shunt is given by Is is equal to, from the equation, Is is equal to I into G by G plus S. Okay, so now the fraction of current that is flowing through the galvanometer can be given by fraction of current that is flowing through galvanometer is fraction of the current that is flowing through the galvanometer is nothing but Ig by I. So from here, Ig by I is nothing but S by G plus S. Ig by I is equal to S by G plus S. So now we need to increase the range of the galvanometer. So we need to increase the range of this galvanometer. So how can we increase this range? Let Ig is the maximum current that is flowing through the galvanometer, maximum reading through the galvanometer. Or let us consider an example. Initially, let this galvanometer can read up to 10 amperes, that is 0 to 10 amperes. Maximum value that can be read by the galvanometer is 0 to 10 amperes. But I need to connect the galvanometer in a circuit which carries a maximum current up to 100 amperes. So which means I need to increase the range of this galvanometer from 10 amperes to 100 amperes. So it is old range and the new range is 0 to, the range should be increased from 10 to 100 amperes. So the new range is, we need to calculate it from 0 to 100 amperes without damaging the galvanometer. So now by connecting the shunt resistance, the galvanometer current flowing through the galvanometer should be in the range of 0 to 10 only. The remaining current should be is forwarded towards the shunt resistance. Okay, now as the range here, you can see the range is increased 10 times. So if the range is increased n times, if range is increased n times, then only 1 by nth current should flow through galvanometer. So I need to increase the range to n times, but only 1 by nth of that current part, 1 by nth should flow through the galvanometer, because here you can observe 0 to 10 amperes. So the new range is 0 to 100 amperes. That means the range value, n value, should be increased 10 times. Here you can see the current value is increased 10 times in this example. So, but only the 1 by 10th part of the current, total current, should be flowing towards this galvanometer. The remaining current will flow through the shunt. So as 1 by n this current is the only flowing through the galvanometer, then Ig by I is equal to 1 by n. Ig by I is equal to 1 by n. By substituting this value here, so 1 by n is equal to S by G plus S, or cross multiplying we can get it as G plus S is equal to Ns, or S into n minus 1 is equal to G, or S is equal to G divided by n minus 1. So from this expression, what we can observe is the value of shunt resistance is less than the internal resistance of the galvanometer. The value of the shunt resistance is less than the internal resistance of the galvanometer. So to increase the range of the galvanometer by n times, the shunt resistance to be connected in parallel to the galvanometer is given by S is equal to G by n minus 1. So by this we can increase the range of the galvanometer. So as the galvanometer reading initially from 0 to 10 amperes, but now by giving a shunt resistance in parallel to the galvanometer, that is G divided by 10 minus 1, that is 9. G by 9th value of shunt resistance is connected in parallel to the galvanometer. Then the range of the galvanometer can be increased from 0 to 100 amperes. Okay, in this way we can improve the range of the galvanometer so that we can calculate the any large currents that is flowing through the galvanometer. Okay, now so let us see how this moving coil galvanometer can be converted to ammeter. So initially, what is meant by ammeter? So ammeter is nothing but it is a device used to measure current. It is a device which is used to measure the currents, and it is always connected in series with the circuit which we need to calculate the current. So it is a device which is used to measure the current, and it is always connected in series with the circuit. For an ideal ammeter, internal resistance should be zero. For an ideal ammeter, the internal resistance should be equal to 0. So for normal ammeters, the internal resistance is very low. It should be very low. Okay, so it is a device which is used to measure the current flow in the circuit, and it is always connected in series with the circuit, and the internal resistance of the ideal ammeter is 0. Now, how can we convert the galvanometer, moving coil galvanometer to ammeter? So, the moving coil galvanometer, simply MCG, moving coil galvanometer can be converted into ammeter, by adding a low resistance in parallel or a shunt resistance, by adding a shunt resistance. So a moving coil galvanometer can be converted into ammeter by adding a low resistance in parallel to the circuit, or by using a shunt resistance. As we can discuss before, what is the principle of shunt? So the moving coil, the circuit diagram for the moving coil galvanometer which is converted to ammeter is like this. So this is galvanometer, and the G is the internal resistance of the galvanometer. Now by connecting a low resistance in parallel, let S is the shunt resistance or the low resistance which is connected to the parallel with the galvanometer, this total gives the ammeter. It is nothing but ammeter. So by connecting a small resistance in parallel to the galvanometer, we call it as a ammeter. So let I is the current flow, as we discussed earlier, as I is the current flowing through the circuit. Here the current flowing through the galvanometer is Ig, which is the maximum current that is flowing through the galvanometer, and the current flowing here is I minus Ig. As here by applying Kirchhoff's law here, I is the incoming and the Ig, and the remaining current is nothing but I minus Ig, that is flowing through the shunt resistance. So from here, as the potential differences are equal, the current flowing through the galvanometer, or the potential difference across this part and the potential difference across the shunt is equal. So Ig into G is equal to I minus Ig into S. Okay, so from here SC can be equal to, S is equal to Ig into G divided by I minus Ig. or S is equal to G divided by I by Ig minus 1, or S is equal to G divided by N minus 1, as we calculated before. S is equal to the value of shunt resistance to be connected is given by S is equal to G by N minus 1, where I is the total current flowing. Here N is equal to I by Ig. N is equal to I by Ig, that is new current divided by old current. New current divided by old current. What is new current and the old current? New current is the maximum current that a galvanometer can read, and the new current is total current in which it is flowing. That means simply we are improving the range of the galvanometer to measure the current flowing in the circuit, which is nothing but a ammeter. So the shunt resistance to be connected is G by N minus 1, where N is I by Ig, that is new current by old current. So by connecting the shunt resistance in parallel with the galvanometer, we can convert the galvanometer to ammeter. So what is the effective resistance? As we calculated, effective resistance R is equal to Gs by G plus S. As we calculated before, effective resistance of the circuit is Gs by G plus S, which is very low when compared to the internal resistance of the galvanometer. Here the S value you can observe here, S is equal to G by N minus 1, where N is always greater than 1. So the value of S is very much small than the value of G, which are connected in parallel. The effective resistance here will be very much less than the value of internal resistance of the galvanometer. Okay, students, now let us go how this moving coil galvanometer. Our next question is how moving coil galvanometer is converted to voltmeter. So this is the question. How a moving coil galvanometer can be converted to voltmeter. So what is meant by a voltmeter? So voltmeter, it is a device. So it is a device used to measure the potential difference across conductor. It is a device which is used to measure the potential difference across the conductor. And next one is, it is always connected in parallel to the circuit or the device which we need to calculate the potential difference. It is always connected parallel across the conductor, which we need to calculate the potential difference. And for an ideal voltmeter, the resistance, the internal resistance is infinity. For an ideal voltmeter, the internal resistance should be infinite, so that it does not draw any current to the circuit. And the next one is, it is always connected in parallel to the circuit, and it is used to measure the potential difference across the conductor in the given circuit. And for an ideal voltmeter, internal resistance is infinity. So this is meant by that is what the for voltmeter is. What is voltmeter is? Now, how can we convert the moving coil galvanometer into voltmeter? So to convert the moving coil galvanometer to voltmeter, we should to convert moving coil galvanometer to voltmeter, a high resistance is connected in series with galvanometer. To convert the moving coil galvanometer to voltmeter, a high resistance is to be connected in series with the galvanometer. So let us see how it is connected. So let us draw a circuit. So let these points be A and B, and the resistance is R or some X, denoted by some X. Let I is the current flowing in the conductor, given conductor. Now we need to calculate what is the potential difference across this conductor or this resistance X or between the points A and B. So to calculate the potential difference, we need to install an voltmeter. The voltmeter should be connected in parallel with the conductor, in which the potential difference is to be calculated. So here we need to use a galvanometer of internal resistance G and a high resistance in series with the conductor. Let R is the resistance. This total circuit gives as the voltmeter. This is what voltmeter means. You can observe here, this is the galvanometer, symbol for the galvanometer, and a high resistance is connected in series with the galvanometer, which the whole part is connected in parallel with the given circuit. Okay, so this total part gives us the voltmeter, from which the potential difference across the circuit can be calculated. So to convert the moving coil galvanometer to voltmeter, we should connect a high resistance in series with the galvanometer. Okay, so as the current I is flowing through this, so here a small current Ig flows through this voltmeter and the remaining current will flows through the X. Okay, to calculate the potential difference across this conductor, potential difference across the conductor be V. V is the potential difference across the conductor. So the potential difference across the conductor should be equal to potential difference in this circuit, that is voltmeter. So V is equal to, here the current flowing is Ig into the total effective resistance, that is nothing but G plus R. Okay, from which G plus R is equal to V by Ig, or R is equal to V by Ig minus G. The resistance that to be connected is given by V by Ig minus G, where G is the internal resistance and Ig is that current flowing in the galvanometer, and V is the potential difference across that element. So we need to, okay, let's start. So okay, now we need to increase the range of this voltmeter to n times. I need to increase the range by n times. So now we have to calculate what is the resistance that to be connected in series with the galvanometer to increase the range of this voltmeter n times. So initially the potential difference across the galvanometer Vg is equal to Ig into internal resistance G. Now I need to increase the potential difference of the range of the galvanometer by n times, so that it can calculate a potential difference of V. V is equal to Ig into, by connecting a series resistance. Therefore, the total effective resistance also increases, that is G plus R. So as it is increased n times, V is equal to n times of Vg. Therefore, V is nothing but Ig into G plus R, that is equal to N into Vg is Ig into G. Here Ig gets cancelled, or R is equal to Ng minus G, or R is equal to N minus 1 into G. So to increase the range of the galvanometer, to calculate the potential difference across the circuit by N times, we need to connect a resistance, a high resistance value, whose resistance value can be given by N minus 1 into G. Here we are connecting a high resistance value. Why we are connecting high resistance means, so here the resistance, internal resistance of the galvanometer is low. By connecting the high resistance in series with the galvanometer, the total resistance of this voltmeter will be very large, so that it can draw small amount of current only. But for an ideal voltmeter, the internal resistance should be infinity, so that it should not draw any current to the voltmeter, but it should give the readings. So as it is not an ideal voltmeter, here by connecting a high resistance value in series, the total effective resistance of the galvanometer can be increased, so which can be converted into voltmeter, which can draw a small current through the voltmeter, from which we can get the readings. So to increase the voltmeter range of the voltmeter by N times, the resistance to be connected is R is equal to N minus 1 into G. By knowing the internal resistance, by knowing the current flowing through the galvanometer, we can calculate the volt potential difference across the circuit. Okay, thank you.